no more. Everything I have ever done has been for my people. I am Romulan. And I will be avenged.
Hi everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Star Trek Online, and this is what everything has been leading to. This is the final episode of the Iconian War, Midnight, and it's actually a very, very good episode, and I think the best piece of work they've done in probably the entire game as far as single player goes. I will be doing probably a separate video on why I think this is such a good one, because this mission is very dialogue heavy and it's exceedingly long, so I don't want to take up too much of your valuable time. So without further ado, let's get into it.
One way or another, the war ends today. The Iconians are massing for a final push towards the key worlds of the Alliance. We are gathering any remaining forces to mount a defense. And perhaps, if we are fortunate, we will be able to turn back time.
Yeah, when a Klingon starts talking about being fortunate and hoping, I start worrying. You'll notice this is the second time that I've played through this mission. Reason for that being the first time that I played this mission, it got corrupted, or the video got corrupted, and therefore there was just no way I could recover it, which was annoying because the mission's long enough anyway. So pretty much everything that we've done against the Iconians so far has been a complete and utter failure, so let's see if we can get things fixed.
You are cleared for docking.
See, the graphics aren't fixed. Yeah, that worked, I think. Anyway, thanks to the temporal shields, we are sort of safe around here, but we're not going to be safe for much longer. Still, let's see what our comrades in arms have to say.
The High Command is still intact, and Kronos remains unconquered. Even so, this war cannot be won if we lose Earth. The Bortesque will fight until she can fight no more, as will I. If this is to be our end, then I will meet it with blade in hand and blood in my teeth. I can ask for no greater honor than to fight beside an ally who has shown this courage time and again.
Well, the Klingons are obviously in let's go down swinging mode, but can't really say I blame them.
Glad you're here. We've been fighting non-stop and it feels like we're barely making a dent. Command says we're preparing for our last chance. I hope they have an ace up their sleeve, because I can't see a way to defeat the Iconians in a straight military battle. Whatever happens, just remember that you'll always have the Enterprise at your side.
That's one of the things that makes me happy about this mission, as I would say, is that, yeah, the Iconians can't just be beaten straight up.
All these years of pain and strife, and it comes to this? I cannot believe that this is how we will end. Our suffering, our struggles cannot be rendered so meaningless. You know what we have been through. This bitter taste, this grief that washes over me, cannot be the last thing that I feel. We will rise again from this. We must.
Let's hope that what she says is true, but yeah, as they said earlier, the Iconians cannot be beaten in a straight up military fight, and that's been one of the weaknesses of STO from my side, is that there's far too much boom boom and not too much thinking. And let's just say there'll be some changes to that in this mission.
We have defeated one Iconian, but the cost to do so was too high. The Iconian forces are too numerous for us to sustain such a strategy. We have been forced to our last resort. The Krinim time ship has been modified, and we can use it to generate a portal to send us back to the ancient time of Iconia. Once there, we must prevent any Iconians from escaping the destruction of their home world. If necessary, we must kill the remaining Iconians ourselves.
We presumably failed the temporal incursion. changing things in the past while remaining in a bubble of temporally shielded current time. This allows the timeline to unfold as it will, almost randomly. My team and I have been working on an alternative method that will actually send someone back in time to the past, where they can directly affect the timeline and help to guide it along the desired path. We've been running some basic scenarios that leave us quite hopeful that we can aid in the original attacks on ancient Iconia, to ensure there are no survivors for us to deal with in the present.
Very militaristic thinking.
We cannot sustain this war. The Iconians will destroy or conquer every species in the galaxy if we do not stop them now. There is no guarantee that this plan will work, but if we do not try, we will certainly lose everything. Our long-range sensors have detected signs of transit from the Iconian spheres. The Iconians must be preparing their heralds for another large-scale invasion. We are gathering our remaining forces to make our stand. The Iconians have picked our next battlefield, and it is the Sol System. If Earth falls, we have lost this war. We have one move left to us, and it is to move this war to a battlefield of our own design. We will attack the Iconians in the past. We've identified that the Iconians were forced from their homeworld in an attack 200,000 years ago. We will take part in that attack and ensure there are no survivors to fight us in the present. Noi's team is busy reconfiguring the time ship. There are no guarantees, even with time travel on our side. We must hold out long enough for a ship to pass through a temporal portal. That means fighting this fight, and every other, until this technology is complete.
Captain, this goes against everything we stand for. Everything we've been fighting for.
You talk of honor, and duty, and freedom. All of these will just be words if we fail. We can try to live up to these ideals when we survive.
And thus begins the great debate of this mission, where we are pretty much put to the test here, whereas what in fact are we willing to do to survive? Are we willing to throw away everything that we have built our society on just in order to survive? I say just in order to survive, but obviously that's not quite right.
I've gotten word from Noi. They've completed their modifications, and the Krenim time ship is on its way. We must hold off the heralds long enough for the Krenim ship to arrive and generate a portal. Once the portal is open, we will go back in time to ancient Iconia and try to change history. But first, we must survive long enough to do so.
Enterprise here. We've intercepted a group of heralds. Can you give us a hand with them?
We're on the way.
This is the USS Hood. Our attack group is taking heavy losses.
Oop, overshot there a little bit, but never mind, get over here. But that's one of the things that I find incredibly interesting about this mission, is that they're finally giving us, or they're finally presenting to us the idea that we're weaponizing time itself, and what we're really doing, we're only looking at one side of the equation. It's like we have to survive by any means necessary, and in order to do that we've gone to kind of the lowest common denominator. And Star Trek, at least for me, and it was as I was growing up, and I'm sure it was for many people watching this, Star Trek was never about going to the lowest common denominator. Now, of course, with the introduction of the Dominion War in Section 31, etc., yes, there are sometimes threats that you can't deal with in any other way, but it shouldn't be your you have to remember what the Federation actually stands for. You keep kind of forgetting how much... Uh-oh. Well, we didn't get there, did we? Let's get these escape pods. That's a hell of an event. If that's scripted, that's well done. Hey, nice to see you as well. Oh, really? The Defiant's in a major battle and it's in trouble? Colour me incredibly surprised. Sorry. This is way too good. This is way too well lined up. Oops, screwed up my timing a bit there, but all's well that ends well. And you know, as much as I don't like the whole, have a little bit of problem with Star Trek being 100% boom boom, this is awesome fighting above Earth.
Shipyards are losing integrity. We need someone on damage control, or we may lose them before the ships in dock can mobilize.
Why have you got ships in dock anyway at this time?
Akagi here. We've restored main power. Thanks for keeping the gantries intact. Bringing the Fight 99th Attack Wing into battle now.
This is ESD control. We're losing life support and transporters are offline.
Okay, everything's just knackered, isn't it, at the moment? Everything is completely wrecked. Right, burn! I've been hit by some of that. I've been hit by one of those stupid Iconian abilities. If you're really bothered by the Iconian abilities, what you can actually do is use two. Certainly on a Vesta, like I've got built here, you can actually use two. Con officers, which give you tac team cooldown, and if you use two of those you can use the universal slot for an engineer for engineering team, because that does away with most of the debuffs from the Iconians. And I'm on fire thanks to my own scorpions. Really stop getting in the way of them. Oh, now I'm going to headbutt Earth space dock just for the to it, but oh great, our flank's exposed as well now. This is going just swimmingly, isn't it? Oh. Come to Papa. Oh, I got hit by an EMP probe before I could hit the resonance beam. That's frustrating. I don't think I've ever mentioned how frustrating the Iconian EMP probes can be, so there you go. Iconian EMP probes can go to hell. Well, this has just descended. Oh wait, what now? The Dominion? Oh, just great. This is just what we need.
I told you I'd be back, and this time I brought friends.
We've brought together forces from every quadrant of the galaxy. The Iconians have done the impossible. They've united us.
I hope you're happy to see me. It doesn't look like things have been going too well so far. I left because I needed to find allies for this war. Ones who you couldn't or wouldn't talk to. The Dominion understands the Iconian threat, and they are quite eager to protect their stake in this galaxy.
Well, the few times I'm actually happy to see you.
We should use this respite to our advantage. Form up at the KIS Anorax. We must protect it long enough for it to activate a time portal. Once the portal is stabilized, we can use it to go back to Iconia's past, and hopefully undo this war before it starts. Our situation is desperate. If we fail here, Earth will fall, and Kronos won't have much hope of standing without it.
I'm arriving with the time ship. We must protect it until the portal is stable.
Buckle up, boys. Oh, that was a good one. I got far enough away for everything to get caught in that. Science! Oh my god, how many of them are there? What do you think I'm doing? Is that what I think it is? I think that's a dreadnought, and if it is, we're in all kinds of trouble. Oh, brace! I love how I can just summon a Presido class at will. Oh, that'll learn someone over there. Try and get a flank on this dreadnought. Get off me! Uh-oh, I can't get away from this. Oh, no you don't. Oh, I'm not running away from this. The Iconians have messed with everything in the galaxy, and now they're going to pay the price for it. Well, there's the portal. Let's just clear up the surrounding area. Come on. That's got it. Now let's head back to the past. I'm still not sure about this.
Energizing temporal emitters. The time portal is open and stable.
Go! Get through that portal!
Setting a course now.
The heralds are firing on the portal!
The portal is destabilizing. Hurry!
More gateways. The Iconian flagship is moving in.
This is the moment of your extinction.
Not today. Everyone, form up and cover our six.
Theirs not to make reply. Theirs not to reason why. Theirs but to do and die. Into the Valley of Death rode the 600.
Evaluating astrometrics. Confirmed. We have traveled back approximately 200,000 years. Only our two ships made it through.
There are no signs of Captain Cogran or his ship. We will have to continue the mission without him.
Well, that's a bad start. 2 hours ahead of time, okay.
Perfect. This will give us a moment to get our bearings and figure out how best to prevent the Iconians from escaping their doom. There are only 12 Iconians that we've encountered, so trying to deal with just those 12 will be a much easier task than trying to take on this whole world.
Interesting. Iconia looks cool, though.
Greetings of the whole to you, strangers, and welcome to Iconia. My name is Matara-Ren, and I am a herald of Matara. Before I can allow you to pass, I must scan you to ensure that your technology is of a sufficient level for you to be allowed access to our city. This will only take a moment. Your technology is sufficient, but your chronoton particles are substantially out of phase. Please follow me. You must speak to my mistress.
The Matara that we killed? I mean...
Remember why we are here. Every Iconian must die in the bombardment, and their technology cannot be taken. If even one Iconian escapes, this could all be for nothing. I recommend we begin by infiltrating their government building. We need access to their data and the gateway controls. You've seen the ruins of a once mighty empire. This is Iconia at the height of its power.
I find it interesting they use that part of Charge on the Light Brigade, the "there's not to do or die" line, because that points a little bit more towards the order that was given to the Light Brigade, i.e. the horrible order.
I apologize for the interruption, Honored One. These travelers have just arrived at our city. Their chronoton particles are out of phase, and per your instructions, I have brought them to you.
Thank you, Matara. You may return to your station. Greetings, friends, and welcome to Iconia. It is highly unusual to receive visitors with such unusual chronoton signatures, and yet we have had 2 in less than a cycle. Do you know a being named Cogran?
Uh-oh, busted.
Wonderful. He will be quite pleased to reunite with you. You should be able to find him in the residential district. I imagine you passed through the same chronoton charge nebula he did. That would account for the anomalous readings.
Yeah, fine, good.
Since you are explorers like Cogran, I suggest you speak to Lemirin. She is the keeper of our world heart, a repository of all knowledge and a genetic record of the worlds we have visited. The astrometrics data in the world heart could prove quite useful to you. Do you have any questions?
Story time.
Our world teems with life, but we were the first to become self-aware. Time is no enemy to us. An Iconian can live thousands of years, but our numbers have always been few, and as the years passed, we understood that would not change. Needing servants and companions, we found a local population that could be molded and shaped to suit our purposes. At first, we used them as beasts of burden, or for tasks that were too difficult or dangerous to do ourselves. I imagine your own species has similar creatures. Over the years, machines and technology began to replace many of those functions. And as technology advanced, what we needed from the Heralds changed as well. Ultimately, we needed beings who could think for themselves. Our genetic reshapers transformed the Heralds from beasts to companions. Now we have achieved a kind of symbiosis. The Heralds perform the routine tasks that keep our society moving. We provide leadership, technological advancement, and defense. We begin with a particular genetic line. Sometimes we will use archived genetic material from the world heart, but most often we simply take what we need from heralds who already perform a similar service. We then resequence the genetic material in utero, removing any defects and enhancing natural abilities the herald will need. We also modify their behavior to ensure loyalty and remove unwanted aggression. Once they are born, we begin an intensive training process. Heralds mature very quickly, so by the time their training is complete, they are fully grown and ready to serve. We are patrons, parents, and perhaps even gods to the heralds. In turn, they are our hands, our eyes, and our pets. Each herald is created to fulfill a specific function for his master. For example, it is my duty to interact with visitors to our world, but I cannot always be there to greet them. Mitararan stands in my stead, examining those who seek our gifts and bringing any special guests, like yourself, to me. Our relations with the other species of this region have been contentious for some time. They covet our culture and our technology and refuse to accept their proper place in the Order. Now they are threatening to attack. As a precaution, many of our people have departed through the gateways to our colony worlds. Once the others have seen the errors of their ways and accepted our rule, my people can return. Do you have other questions?
Greetings, travelers. Are you explorers, or do you come seeking our wisdom and guidance? Either way, I apologize. I am rather occupied at the moment. Please, return later. I should have time to speak to you then. The World Heart is the repository of all our knowledge. It contains the genetic information of every species on Iconia and all of our colony worlds. With it, we can colonize and repopulate an entire world, shaping it to resemble our home in just a few short years. It also holds a record of our culture, history, literature, and philosophy. This is why we call it the World Heart. It is, in a very real way, the center of our civilization.
Well, learning something new every day.
The changes we see in the Iconians are too great to be simple evolution. The Iconians shape themselves and the Heralds into weapons. Genetic engineering that is both efficient and terrible.
Back to the Light Brigade thing, I would have preferred the line from Sacrifice of Angels, because that just showed what they were up against.
Something must have gone wrong as we entered the portal that disrupted synchronization. I arrived 2 weeks ago. I remained cloaked, scanned the planet for several days, and then came to the surface as an explorer, seeking to open diplomatic relations with the Iconians. My ship is using the magnetic fields above the poles to help conceal its presence. The Iconians of this time are nothing like the ones we know. They are flesh, and appear to be friendly and peaceful, if a bit arrogant with those they see as lesser. Come. They will allow us to move through the city freely. You should see this for yourself.
Cogran is either a fool, or he's being manipulated by the Iconians. Either way, he might jeopardize the mission. We'll need to watch him closely.
Yep.
Someone's calling for help.
Both problems, but...
An injured herald. This could be a chance to learn about their physiology. Perhaps even find a weakness.
Definitely something here.
Hello. Can you help us? My herald is injured, and I cannot leave him. I need someone to bring us some healing supplies. Heralds are also native to this planet. They were not as evolved as we are, so we enhanced them. The heralds are our companions and our helpers. They are our hands and our eyes, and they are our children. It is rare for my species to reproduce. In fact, it has been more than a century since a new Iconian was born on this world. Perhaps we are evolving beyond the need for such things. We will endure here, and our heralds will spread our word throughout the stars. Thank you. There should be a healer nearby.
I love how the Iconians just brush off, yeah, we haven't had one of us born for a century, no biggie.
Do you require assistance, visitor? Certainly. However, I do not detect any injuries or maladies in your physical form. What do you require?
Could be a mental problem.
Oh, of course. It is our duty and privilege to care for our heralds. I will follow you to the patient.
Sealer's kind of right that the Iconians...
I have spent days among these people. Proud and very strong.
Thank you, Traveler. I appreciate your assistance.
How do you feel about your creator? The Iconians are parent, teacher, master, friend. They are our rulers and our gods, and I am grateful for their guidance. They give purpose and structure to our lives. We would not exist without them.
Exceedingly well. We do what manual labor needs to be done, as well as other tasks. And in return, the Iconians give me all I could need or want. I know it might sound like enforced servitude to you, but I don't see it that way. The Iconians are our beginning and our end. I am nothing without my mistress, and serving her is my greatest joy.
The Iconians' affection for their pets is a weakness. We can exploit that.
I am not so sure. After all, we've seen how the Iconians will transform their pets. The Heralds are merciless killing machines. They have killed multitudes during this war.
Deaths that we will avenge here. No more waiting. We need to finish our mission.
Can you avenge something that never happened?
I don't understand why you're bothering to help these people. We need to find the gateway controls, sabotage them, and be done with it. This could all be over if you'd let it.
See how Sealer's playing the Blinded by Vengeance card? And Kagran's playing the Voice of Reason, which is kind of weird for a Klingon. But I suppose they had to have someone. It was never going to be Sealer being the Voice of Reason now, was it?
Clearly the Iconians have a highly developed sense of the aesthetic.
That's fine, but what we need is to know more about their technology. And we're going to a park.
When you have technology as advanced as the Iconians, wonders can be found anywhere you look. We should talk to that officer over there.
Kagran the Wise.
I see you are interested in this device. We are testing a new method of encryption. So far, it has proven to be most effective. To access the console, you must solve a series of problems that we believe only an Iconian could answer. Unfortunately, I fear the console is stuck in a testing phase, which is why I am protecting it. It may be a waste of time. You appear intelligent enough, but I doubt you or any of our other visitors could solve even the easiest of problems in the algorithm. I am not supposed to leave this area unwatched, but all of my heralds are performing other duties. And if Elmiran... Thank you, Traveler. I will not be long.
Now, I do a little bit of a shortcut here. The computer asks 2 questions, or the console asks 2 questions, and you have to talk to the 2 Iconians to get the answer. I shortcut and go straight to the Iconians. That wasn't a very, you know, of a storyline, it's kind of going to look out of loop. I don't understand what any of that says.
It's a very unusual debate, but if I remember my basic genetic engineering, for the occurrence of each of the alleles P and Q, the next generation would be P plus Q squared. So P squared plus 2PQ plus Q squared equals 1. If I have my math right, it would be 42%.
Well, the answer to everything's 42. I mean, surely we should know that. Never mind an Iconian. And while I mess around looking for the second Iconian around here, it does seem that the Iconians seem to be a kind of benevolent dominion sort of thing. They genetically engineer all their subjects, but
May I help you?
they're a lot more peaceful and a lot friendlier than the Dominion are, for now anyway.
Do you need something? Oh, there are 28 possible exotic spheres. Any Iconian knows that.
Same arrogance as the Dominion as well. Suppose it only comes right when the Iconians decided to help us, as it were. Sorry, not the Iconians decided to help us. The Dominion decided to help us. The only thing that I think could have made it a little bit better, or what I would have liked to have seen, is, weren't the Undine a major part of this? You know, they were a major part of the Iconian invasion. We went through hell trying to get them on our side, or, you know, to stop them attacking us, and they're just absolutely nowhere. I like how they reference the Ikabar and the Denassians in this, because the Ikabar and Denassian, I believe they were seen as languages that sprouted from Iconian, if I'm remembering the Next Generation episode where the Iconia is discovered correctly. Oops, forgot to get the information on the Denassians. But basically what we're seeing here is that the Iconians have super advanced technology, and the Ikabar and the Denassians both want access to the technology, but the Iconians are holding on to sort of their version of the Prime Directive, I suppose, by not giving races which aren't ready for it advanced technology.
It is just as I surmised. The Iconians are following their own version of the Prime Directive. They are attempting to protect lesser developed species from acquiring technology that they may not use wisely or well.
Not so fast. We've only heard one side of the story. I'd like to know what some of the other visitors here think about the oh-so-noble Iconians.
It's true, but, you know, let's face it. Would you give...
We will gladly give you the medicines you require, but our genetic engineering technology is off limits.
The medicine will help with this plague, but what about the next one? We need the ability to take care of ourselves, but you won't give us the means to do so.
I am sorry, but we have extremely stringent rules about who can use our technology. There are many species who are not yet ready to use our gifts safely and wisely. One moment, Volkar. Yes? May I help you?
A lot of answers that you can give here, basically, but we're Federation, so it's going to be the top one. But yeah, would you hand someone a gun if you didn't know where they were going to point it, or if there was a high probability they pointed at you?
I will take your opinion under advisement, but ultimately, this is an Iconian matter. You are simply another visitor on our world.
Arrogance really does rub off on me, these Iconians, but maybe things are going to change. There is a little bit of a side plot here.
We haven't made much headway trying to reverse engineer the gateways, but just imagine what we could do with it.
Oh, I have. You can move an army in the blink of an eye. Think about what would happen if all these heralds just showed up on your planet. Oh, they'd take over in a day. I'm still trying to acquire some of their data. Have you had any luck yet?
Nothing yet. Despite all their openness and hospitality, the Iconians have everything on lockdown. I can't even get near the building where they keep the world heart without some herald stopping me.
Really quite rightly. Would you let someone near it?
If I were the Iconians, I too would think twice about giving people like these advanced technology.
This doesn't prove anything. So the Iconians had their reasons for withholding technology. I don't care, and neither do their enemies.
We know the bombardment is imminent. This world will be obliterated, no matter how much you sympathize with the Iconians. And don't forget what we're here to do. There can be no survivors.
Right there, you don't see echoes of yourself, Sealer? And again, Sealer playing that. Don't forget what Sealer's been through. She's seen her people pretty much wiped out by the Iconians. The whole of Romulus was
Tell your
destroyed.
ships to drop into orbit above the polar region. My ship is cloaked there.
Probably would have been wise to equip all ships with a cloaking device. I'm just checking out the DPS channels there, but would have been wise to give every ship you could a cloak. But let's head back and speak to Iconians.
Excuse me, but I require assistance. We have lost contact with several of our colony worlds. I am attempting to increase the range of this communications console to re-establish the connection. But I need another set of hands to adjust the frequency while I attempt to dial in the proper network levels. All of my heralds are currently working on the evacuation. Would you be willing to help me?
Odd that they've lost contact with the colonies, but let's see if we can realign this. Well, this is busy work more than anything else, but just click this to advance storyline. It's not really tough, is it?
Curious. Our communications should be reaching the colonies, but I am not receiving any response to my messages. Something terrible must have happened. We were not concerned about the lesser races. Not at first. They were like children who wanted things they could not understand. It was our duty to protect them, to guide them. In time, when they were ready, we would have shared all of our gifts. I do not know. If the colony worlds have fallen, then I am sorry. Please excuse me. I must speak to our leaders.
Children can go wrong as well.
We already know the evacuation did not save them.
But the gateway on New Romulus remained active for a time.
Then we must cut off that path, now, before anyone escapes.
Let's see if Almiran's willing to talk to us. She seems like the most reasonable of the Iconians, even in the future.
Welcome, traveler. I apologize for my earlier absence. We have had contact with many worlds in our journeys, but we have found no people equal to our own. Some of the others resent the blessings our people enjoy. They seek to take that which we will not give. Our policy is not to share our technology with species who are not sufficiently advanced to use our gifts wisely. When a society encounters advanced technology, before they are ready, they often don't have the cultural or social development to handle it appropriately. This leads to war, genocide, and many other ills. We would protect the younger species from those tragedies. Our people believe, also, that each species has a unique destiny. To disrupt their path toward that destiny is wrong. All of the others must develop in their own time.
Prime directive.
We have had contact with many worlds in our journeys, but we have found no people equal to our own. While we are an extremely advanced world, we are not, in general, a militant one. Tiket will coordinate the defense, but I remain hopeful that we can reach a peaceful solution before blood is shed. Matara speaks for us, and she is quite a gifted diplomat. If all else fails, there are places known only to us and those who serve us. Our gateways can take us to these refuges, to recover and rebuild. Will you help us?
Well, think about it.
The attack is beginning. I thought we'd have more time. We must retrieve the World Heart and escape. Will you help us?
The attack is beginning. We must decide how to proceed. I have spoken to these people, walked their streets, shared their meals. Regardless of what we know they will do in the future, the Iconians of this time are not evil. They are peaceful. And they are guilty of no crimes, worse than standing up for their ideals. The very same ideals, I might point out, as the Federation's prime directive. You have walked the same streets as I, spoken to the same people. Can you allow them to die for crimes they have not yet committed? For my part, I find no honor in cold-blooded murder.
Are you willing to die for honor?
It doesn't matter what these people are now. We know what they will become, what they will do. The Iconians will destroy my homeworld. They will bomb the archive in the Lena system and exterminate the Preservers. They will incite the Undine to destroy Keswick 4. They will attack our homeworlds, kill those we love, and threaten our very existence. And that changes nothing. We know what will happen. In our time, they are poised to destroy or enslave the galaxy. There is no choice. We destroy them now and save ourselves.
So there's the question. Now that was a stupid question from me. Will you...
It's a bit late for second thoughts. Our mission is clear. We don't have a choice. We're here and we will do what needs to be done. Atone for your sins after you've saved the galaxy.
Stupid question asking Kagran. Of course he'd die for honor. He's a Klingon.
The World Heart contains all of our knowledge and all our genetic data. With it, we can rebuild. We have a refuge built for those who serve us. We shall go there.
And we can use time travel for sure, but surely there's an option apart from destroying them.
Network from here. We could disable all of the gateways at once.
We offered Lemirin our aid. There is no honor in striking down an ally from behind.
The honorable thing would be to complete our mission and save our galaxy. Or do you not care about what happens to Kronos?
And seeing Sealer with tunnel vision there.
Transfer the World Heart to a transportable format. I'll need your help to initiate the download from that console.
Cool looking bauble.
The download is proceeding, but it will not complete before the invaders find us.
Then I'll take the invaders out. And yeah, this, with all the upgraded kit and everything I've got now, the ground fight is not much of a fight. It's more of a massacre.
Now we need to release the magnetic interlocks holding the core. I need you at the other console.
And I like the direction this is going, because for so long Star Trek has gone into the ends justify the means mode with Section 31, DS9, etc. Now,
more invaders. They must not take the World Heart.
Now I'm not saying that that wasn't a necessary thing to do, or it wasn't a decent thing to do, because sometimes you do have to take that worldview that there are some things that can't be solved, but...
We need to erase the mainframe memory banks. I will require your assistance.
But it kind of became the default area to go to, you know. If something's hard, bring in the ends justify the means argument. And the whole reason that Trek exists is because we've become better than that.
Protect me.
We've supposedly become better than that over time, is what it's supposed to be. So, you know, Section 31 is supposed to be the absolute... they're supposed to be the exception to the rule, not the rule. And it seems to be like, certainly in STO, we've gone to the rule more than anything else. But glad to see it sort of going the other way. At least we've got a decision to make here.
Memory erased. The last step is to eject the world heart.
And maybe our actions will have an effect anyway, just through helping them. Yeah, just by being here, we're changing the timeline.
I fear that was just the beginning of the violence. My people are few, and most of our heralds are elsewhere. Defeating a significant force would be costly to both sides. I know you are not one of the whole, and I have no right to ask for your assistance. But would you help us evacuate the city? Blessings of the whole upon you. We must gather as many of our people as possible and escort them to the gateway platform. Once we are there, I will open the path to our refuge. Many of our people already left for Colony Worlds, but we have lost contact with them. I fear the worst. I recommend we locate Tiket. She is our protector, and there are none who know the ways of our enemy as well as she. Tiket is a fearsome warrior and has kept our people safe for countless millennia. Until today.
Rescuing Iconians is not what we're here to do.
Perhaps it is. When we came back in time, we did not know what we would find.
And don't forget that it looks like the Iconians won't survive without us, so we're already changing history.
I appreciate your efforts, stranger, but I cannot come with you. I will defend Iconia until my final breath.
And maybe something will, maybe the fact that we're helping them will change things.
Have merit. If we go to the refuge, we can rebuild. There, we can plan our vengeance. No one will ever threaten us again.
I've heard that before.
She is a fool. She would let her people die so she could avenge them.
Vengeance is...
I apologise for the skipping here, guys, but I believe I had XSplit divide up the video into multiple parts, and that's kind of what happens when you get splits. It's annoying, but it will calm itself down in time, don't worry about it.
We will never forget this tragic day.
No, they won't. And vengeance can be a powerful weapon, but it's also a one-directional weapon, and sometimes it can be pointed at the wrong things. It's not exactly a surgical implement. Oh yeah, is that Matara that's hiding back there? I think it is. Yes, it is Matara.
Thank you. You have shown exceptional kindness and valor in this trying time. I will miss my home. Iconia is precious to us, but as long as the whole survives, we can use the world heart to rebuild.
There's still one piece of the puzzle that everyone's missing here, but Kagran He's thinking about it for sure. Get these Iconians out of here.
These are not a warlike people.
Not yet. That will change.
Bloodshed affects everyone differently. My people became warriors when an alien species threatened our home.
And the Iconians will become conquerors.
Kicking happening. I like Taket's staff weapon, that looks pretty awesome. Got one more area to go to. Shackles, that's no fun. And this is the last group, I think.
Now I see your plan. We've won their confidence, gathered them together. Strike now, and we can eliminate them all.
No, the decision's been made. Not, you know, let's face it, with Federation, I am not going to kill a bunch of defenseless people for the crimes of what they became. Just by being here, we've changed the timeline.
The gateway is damaged. You will need to reroute the power and reinitialize the gateway open sequence.
And there you go. This is becoming blatantly obvious. The Iconians would not have survived without us. So maybe we've done this all before anyway.
Didn't the others save the Iconians? Where are they?
They may already be here.
And thus is the final thread revealed. I find it interesting there were so many people who, you know, so much speculation on who the other was. Was it the Q? Was it someone else? I was kind of hoping for the Chodak, but hey.
We're losing ground!
We can't hold them off or...
That's it. Send them through.
No! This isn't our mission! You took everything from me!
The World Heart.
There's no time. The gateway is closing.
Only 12 of us are left. That crystal contains our civilization.
Seela, stop! We are better than this!
I will remember this, Romulan. I will extinguish your people in payment for your treachery.
This has all played out this way before.
the cause for Hobus.
Fairly shocking revelation, so there's only one thing we can do. Inappropriate party amplifier. Yeah, oh, we've just guaranteed that the entire galaxy is going to be obliterated. But hey, party time while we're on Iconia. Hey, Seela, get over here. You know that you want to party. You just guaranteed the destruction of your home world, girl. You're gonna love partying, surely. Everyone get over here. And, yep, there we go. Yeah, that's it. Give me the world heart while you're at it. So I suppose something has changed, at least being back here. The one thing that's changed, we have the world heart now.
I know what you were going to say, but I did what I had to do for my people. I should have acted sooner. If I had, perhaps Romulus would have been restored.
There you have it. We're the others.
That can't... Taket! What have I done?
I don't give you no simpy. Maybe I do. Nope.
The Iconians have fled to Dewa 3, and the Gateway's console has been destroyed, so no one can follow them. Our fate may not have changed from our actions here, but we have done what honor demanded. We are not murderers. Whatever our future may hold, we will face it with our eyes open and our heads held high. We must return to our own time and see what effect our actions had.
The action is we have the world heart. That's the only thing we've changed. And that may be enough, let's hope. The only slight downside is I'm pretty sure...
A tachyon burst to reopen the portal that brought us here.
That's convenient. But I'm pretty sure...
The exact moment we left the present time.
I'm pretty sure that Seela never mentioned she was a Romulan, so how would Taket have known? I'm pretty sure Romulans didn't exist at that point.
The portal is destabilizing. Hurry!
Captain Cochran to Alliance Fleet. Stand down. I repeat, stand down. You have the world heart and the means to end this. Signal the Iconians, show them we have it, and that we are the ones who save them. This is our last chance to end this war.
Do you wish to surrender? A wise decision. How did you acquire that? That is not possible. But yet, I see the world heart in your hands. It is time to end this. Your leaders, our unity. Now.
Well, I suppose I can talk for... Uh-oh. Well, I ain't fighting out of this, put it that way.
If what you say is true, then that core contains all of the lost knowledge of our people. So much that we thought it was lost forever. Will you return all that remains of our civilization to us?
Not like I've got much choice here.
I have never had a chance to examine you closely, but now that you stand before me, I remember you helped us, although it gained you nothing. You are the other. Hate blinded us. Fear of the unknown crippled us. Pain
greater measures. The events of that day set us on this path. It grieves me to see where it has led. After we escaped to Day War 3, protecting ourselves became our sole purpose. We transformed ourselves, our whole, even our heralds, to prevent another tragedy. And we vowed never to trust again. I did, and it saved us. But we believed the other lost to us. And you were lost to time. And we preserved the whole by any means necessary. Indeed, we protected the whole against the lesser species who would destroy us if given a chance, who would steal what we would not give freely. And we did not mourn the deaths of those who were not a part of our unity. And then we faced you, a foe who would not yield, who subverted time itself in an attempt to destroy us. But instead, you showed compassion, even though you knew what would happen to your people if we survived. You helped us, because that is who you are.
Most important thing there, we're explorers, not murderers.
I am humbled in the face of such integrity. I shall be forever grateful to you for showing us the error of our ways. No, I will not accept this. Whatever these creatures did in the past is meaningless. They took my mom. They killed our sister. They broke our unity. And for that, I will destroy. I will never forget what you have done, or what that creator, the receiver, did. There will never be enough blood to wash away my need for vengeance. A single world. I can destroy 1,000,000 worlds, and it would not be enough. Your existence is an insult to the memory of our people. I will continue my fight, even if I must fight alone. She will not listen. Tiket has always been very stubborn. In a few thousand years, perhaps, her attitudes will change. Until then, be wary. Tiket is a formidable opponent, and I will not take up arms against her, even in defense of the other. But with those of us who remain, you shall have peace. We ask only for our home world. Leave Iconia and our servants undisturbed, and we will trouble you no longer. I understand, but our terms are not negotiable. We need time to breathe and contemplate. Perhaps in a millennia or two, it will be different.
And until then, a Dyson sphere will sit above Iconia. And Tiket still being against us, again, gives reasons for the STFs, etc., and the fleet actions, but finally we ended a conflict on this, not through force of arms, but through doing the right thing. A single golf clap awaits us. Well, only one final thing to do, and that's to talk to all of our comrades.
Your compassion has accomplished more in one act than we could have with all the phasers in the fleet. Honor and selflessness have been almost forgotten over the past few years. That needs to change. It's time to act like Starfleet officers again.
I'm interested to see how it goes.
We have a lot to do to heal the wounds the war has left on us all. But we've survived the Borg and the Dominion. We can survive this.
Even though you weren't here.
There's a lot of work to be done now. We need to rebuild, recover, try to learn how to live in this new reality. But with people like you on our side, I know we can do it.
It's backslapping time.
I thought this was it. The last day. And I was ready, but I'm glad my daughter didn't have to die in defense of the Federation. That I get to go home after this. We all do. Thank you.
We have much to do, but first, we will celebrate. Let the blood wine flow now that the bloodletting has ceased. There is more to being a warrior than vengeance and death. True honor comes from doing what is right, despite the personal cost. The Iconians will depart, and we will rebuild. Mercy has triumphed where weapons could not. Now I will try to find a way to share this wisdom with my people. Many warriors have fallen in this war. Those of us who remain must walk the path of honor.
Finally, Sealer.
I don't know what to say. I thought I was protecting our future. But instead, all this... It happened because of a mistake I made hundreds of thousands of years ago. I've made a lot of difficult choices in my life. And I didn't always consider the consequences of my actions. Today has made me wonder if there's another way. If I can be better than I am.
I'm sure we'll see you again. And who's to say it wouldn't have happened anyway? It's not like Taket wasn't full of vengeance anyway for what had happened. And considering that the other had been lost to time, it's possible that the war would have happened anyway.
The war is over. Although we could not turn back the clock and restore the lives that were lost and the planets that were ravaged, we have ended the conflict honorably. You made the right choice. And that is not always an easy one to make. I would be honored to fight by your side again. Before that day comes, however, we must rebuild. There is already talk of new exploration missions. Perhaps we will find our next challenge among the unexplored stars.
So the Iconian War ends, and it ends in the right way. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. This is Boomer, and I will see you next time.